first 4 terms of the Taylor series for f of x equals sine x centered at a equals pi over 4. All right, so I have a chart that I like to use to help me organize all the information you need for a Taylor series. So I'm just going to remind you what the Taylor series centered at a looks like. So it's going to be f of a equals f of a over 0 factorial times x minus a to the 0 plus f prime of a over 1 factorial times x minus a to the first plus f double prime of a over 2 factorial times x minus a squared. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, maybe I'll write out one more term because I want the first 4 terms here. So I need f triple prime of a over 3 factorial times x minus a cubed. All right, so that's what I'm going to need. I need f of a, f prime of a, f double prime of a, and f triple prime of a. So I'm going to make a chart where I have derivatives at x, derivatives at a, and then coefficient. The coefficient meaning this piece, the coefficient that's on the x minus a to a power. And then I need x minus a to a power. Okay, so I'm going to start by finding the 3 derivatives I need. So f of x is sine x. I need f prime, f double prime, and f triple prime. So the derivative of sine is cosine. My second derivative would be the derivative of cosine, which is negative sine. And then my third derivative is a derivative of negative sine, which is negative cosine. All right, now I need to evaluate each of these 4 functions at a, which in this case is pi over 4. So f of pi over 4, the sine of pi over 4 is root 2 over 2. And then f prime of pi over 4, cosine of pi over 4 is also root 2 over 2. For a double prime, that's the negative sign, so that's just negative root 2 over 2. And f triple prime, that is negative cosine of pi over 4, negative root 2 over 2. Okay, so then my coefficient is my derivative over a factorial. So this first one is over 0 factorial. So root 2 over 2 over 0 factorial is just root 2 over 2. The next one is over 1 factorial. So I have root 2 over 1 factorial, which is root 2 over 2. My next one is negative root 2 over 2, the derivative over 2 factorial, which is negative root 2 over 4. And then my last one is negative root 2 over 2 divided by 3 factorial, which is negative root 2 over 12. And then my powers, these are going to be x minus pi over 4s. This is to the 0, so that one is just 1. And then x minus pi over 4 to the first. And then x minus pi over 4 squared. And x minus pi over 4 cubed. Now I have all the information I need to plug into this expression I wrote up here. Okay, so f of a over 0 factorial, that's my coefficient. So that is the root 2 over 2. And x minus a to the 0 is just 1, so I'm not even going to write that one. Okay, f prime of a over 1 factorial, that is this coefficient, root 2 over 2, times x minus pi over 4 to the first. F double prime of a over 2 factorial, that is this value, negative root 2 over 4, times x minus a, oops, a is pi over 4, x minus pi over 4 squared, plus my last coefficient is negative root 2 over 12 times x minus pi over 4 cubed plus dot dot dot. So that's the first 4 terms of the Taylor series.